Hello, Zach, and thank you for speaking with me. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Are you kidding me?
So I've got to first of all congratulate you on well, besides your entire career, but in particular, Justice League. I just watched it, and it's absolutely incredible. I really, really do. I love it, and I think that this is, at least for me as a fan, the definitive version of the film.
Oh, great. That's all I could hope for.
So with the film, obviously, there was some changes with production. You kind of essentially created the DCEU, and then Justice League, I would think, as a creator, as an artist, may have been kind of the centerpiece of this world that you were building. Is that accurate to say?
Yeah, certainly that's how it was. When I originally started the work, like that's how it was intended to sort of evolve. Like, Man of Steel, BVS, all of these were like on a journey to get us to Justice League, which would have been the King Daddy, and which is.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, and so was that difficult for you to see, something that you've worked on for years kind of have to go out of your hands?
Yeah, I mean, what I'll say is that, we were it was a difficult time for myself and my family.
And I'm so sorry for your loss.
Look, I appreciate that, and thank you. But the movie really, it was a time of exploration for us. Like, what does it mean? Like, is this like, what's important? What are we doing? And I think that sort of journey, that sort of, the time we spent kind of talking about it and being with the family and everything was a really important time. And in the end, we've all, the catharsis of that time and of this journey has really kind of been a great comfort to us all.
Did you, in the process of getting the chance to, revisit this, which I'm sure has to be, the only example I could think of is like the Richard Donner sort of thing. But the fans demanded this. I mean, really, I don't think there's any other way to put it than demanded this. Were you expecting such like a visceral reaction from so many people?
No, I was pretty sure that we were just going to move on and make another movie, and that would be, and Justice League would be what it is, and that would be that. I didn't think there would be this kind of, putting their foot down and going like, no, we don't accept this. This is not how it's going to be. We want our Justice League movie the way we were promised. And I think what happens at the other movies, Justice League and Batman vs Superman, really, I made a promise to the fans that is how their world would continue. And I think that they were just, frankly, they wanted that realized. And I thank them for it, frankly, because, without them, we wouldn't be here talking.
Right. And yeah, I mean, absolutely. And, it even, I mean, it just really took on a life of its own. And with getting to revisit this, were you able to add, from my understanding, you originally had a 3-part, a trilogy in mind for Justice League.
Yeah.
Were you able to insert some of those ideas into this Snyder Cut?
Not really. I mean, there is some hints, but more, I would say, on a sort of a teaser level to what would come. But this was a big bite anyway, what we wanted to do for this first Justice League film. So there was a lot to get done in the 4 hours, I felt like. Yeah. So, and then that was really all we shot. So, I mean, though, yes, there was a plan for more, and that stuff is, if you're interested, there's a show in Dallas at AT&T headquarters where you can go and kind of take a look and sort of see the 2 other movie arc that we had planned. Though I'll say that that they don't really apply exactly to where we ended up. Excuse me. That was written prior to Justice League. So this would be where we go from here. If I was, which there's really very little chance I would ever make another movie, but with the DCU. But if for whatever reason that happened, it would be a lot of the same elements, but probably a different storyline.
Okay, and I'm trying to stay as spoiler free as possible, but there was a rumor going around, and that had to do with if you had done this trilogy, Batman would have died. Is that a crazy Twitter rumor?
It's not a crazy. No, for sure. It was our goal to, eventually Batman would sacrifice himself for humanity. That was our hope.
Wow. Okay. That's
again, not to, that's a little bit spoilery, but it's all in the telling, as they say.
Right. Absolutely. For me, Cyborg is really the heart of this cut, the Snyder cut.
Absolutely.
And I love how all of the character moments that are fleshed out are, for me as a viewer and a fan, vital to the story I think you were originally trying to tell, which you now get to do. But particularly Cyborg, I mean, we literally see his journey, this incredible life-altering journey. Is that you had in mind? Is that what you wanted?
Yeah, absolutely. I from the beginning, I wanted to design this sequence of, where we see his not only his powers, but like what he's capable of, and sort of and intertwine that with his relationship with his father as a scientist and wanting to figure out how to love his son, because he's a little bit of a, he has his own issues with work and what he's trying to do, and and not remembering he's kind of, to spend enough time with his son, issue that everyone has sometimes. And then just, then this series of events that cause them to be, estranged slightly. And then how he, when finding his power, finding his Justice League family, and then reconnecting with his father, all of that in this kind of crazy space opera that is Justice League.
I love it. And Ezra, I heard that you directed Ezra, since he's filming Fantastic Beasts 3,
Yeah.
You directed Ezra through Zoom?
Yeah, we had to do it over Zoom because he's in England and I couldn't travel. And so we just did it over to Zoom. I only needed a couple of shots from him. But yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Was that new for you?
Yeah,
I mean, you've done a lot.
I've done a lot. I've never done that. And then I did Diane Lane that the same way for her little, when she comes out and becomes, does her Martian Manhunter cameo, like that shot where she comes out the door and like looks around. That shot we didn't have, so I had to get that.
Wow, it's kind of funny just to think, superstar director, writer, producer Zack Snyder directing through Zoom.
It was weird. And like they had me on an iPad, on a stand, so Diane could like come over and talk to me. It was really weird. It was weird.
That's cool though.
That was cool. It'd be cool if we could put it on like a small car so I could drive it around like the set.
Right. Like a remote control iPad Zach.
Yeah. Like see those in hospitals,
Right. So originally, or I mean, not originally, but the second go round with the plan, from my understanding, was that it was going to be mini-series style, at least for the viewer.
This movie. Yeah.
Correct. And then obviously as we watch it now, it is broken into chapters. What made the determination to go from miniseries style, where it's, an episode a week or whatever, or a chapter a week, to here's the whole thing?
Yeah, it happened through frankly, it was the lawyers were like, we're not sure whether this is legal to take a movie and turn it into a series and all these things. And we were like, look, we're breaking ground trying to just what we're doing, just creating this movie. I don't want to become like a legal precedent for another thing. So let's just do it as it was designed, as a movie, as a big movie. It was always chaptered. That part of it was just part of the way I had envisioned the movie, with these kind of episodic breaks to kind of, we have such a big story to tell. And frankly, there's all these members of the Justice League. So I really felt like having the different chapters lit, you kind of get a little bit of a cleanse before you went into whatever the next section of the movie might be. And I think it works works nicely for this particular film.
Absolutely. And you know, I kind of, as I was watching it, I kind of thought it reminded me similarities to a comic book. You know, here's issue 1,
Yeah.
here's issue 2 in like a limited series sort of thing.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great way to think about it.
And the black and white version, is that a thing?
That is absolutely a thing. There is a black and white version called the Justice's Gray edition of Justice League. I think it's coming to HBO Max in a little bit. And there's an IMAX version of it that I plan to use for, fundraising for AFSP. And, when COVID kind of cools down a little bit more and we can get back into theater, I'd love to, get a big IMAX theater and put it up and say, and have all the ticket sales go to, to AFSP.
That's awesome. And, I'll be there day one.
Awesome.
And I have to ask from a technical point because I don't know, when you're doing like, another version, so we have the Snyder cut and then you're doing the Justice's Gray edition, do you have to watch it like,
yeah,
you have to watch them both multiple times to make sure like it's the right?
Yeah. And you watch it and watch it and you watch it and watch it and watch it. Yeah. So I've watched it, hundreds of times.
And just for like the color, just for the
color, the coloring is a huge process, where, for me, and coloring the movie is such a big part of it, where I'm literally every shot, we're putting, a small, like I'll put a small vignette over here and then I'll lighten that corner.
Wow.
Put some contrast in there. And it's every shot gets a loving, caress. And then like,
wow.
Oh, those reds are a little hot. Let's turn those reds down. Let's, so it's a really big, and then even with the black and white, it's like more contrast, more vignette, whatever, it's like we had to go through the movie with an entirely different point of view, again, to color it into the black and white version.
Do you hope that your DCEU, the Snyderverse, if you will, lives on, or are you content with it ending now? Is there things that you hope to see?
Yeah, I hope. It's not really, it's not up to me. I took this opportunity that the fans made real for me, and I wanted to honor that commitment that they had to me and honor my family and the work that all my friends had done and complete this version of the movie. And I'm really proud of it. And I think that, because Warner's is, and DC Films is, they're by all means, they're in charge of their own world and that's what they do. And, they famously said that to them, the theatrical cut of Justice League is canon. That's what they kind of jump off of. And, so my little micro universe is its own thing. And I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, I'll let the fans decide how they want to go forward.
I love it. Well, Zack, thank you so much. Again, just want to congratulate you on, this achievement. It really is an achievement in many different ways to make this happen. So thank you, from a fan, thank you for doing it and doing it right.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Zack.